till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies.
At MDOT, we were happy to work with Rep. Love and her desire to honor Ms. Franklin by designating a portion of M10, which is Large Freeway, as Aretha Franklin Memorial Highway. We have a number of memorial designations on state highways across the state, but I know this moment is particularly poignant for residents of Detroit, a city that has produced some of the world's most accomplished recording artists.
When Representative Leslie Love proposed this legislation for the lodge, I thought, how appropriate. This daughter of Detroit rose to prominence up the street at New Bethel, her father's church that's now so brilliantly led by Pastor Smith. And of course, her passing occurred next to the river that she loved and the Detroit Riverfront Apartments. Unlike others who came from the city and left, this freeway actually tracks the extraordinary course of her life.
You know, I think it says it in the Bible, there is a reason and a season for all things. And I know us here in Detroit and in Southeast Michigan, we think, it's a highway sign. It's a Memorial Highway. What's going on here? It is a big deal. Because that's not just a sign, it is a symbol. And it's a reminder every time of the struggle as well as the victory. It's a reminder of our journey and our sister who comes from Memphis but grew up and built legacy right here in the city of Detroit. It's a reminder for everyone who had a dream. It's a reminder for everyone who is in the midst of a struggle that we're not just talking about an artist or a Grammy Award winner or the first woman and first black woman inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And we're not just talking about a woman who's been given honorary degrees from every prestigious, internationally important university on the planet. We're talking about just a down-home girl right here from the D, who gave so generously of her time, her talent, and her treasure, whether it was through her PSAs for Don't Drink and Drive, or her advocacy on voting, and all the work that she did with AARP. She was there on the front line.
She enabled movements that changed people's lives. She enabled organizations that created and delivered resources for communities in this city and around this state and around this nation. That is the significance that this sign represents to me, as somebody from the east side of Detroit, who always loves when I can look to people across the country and they always look back and say, man, them people from Detroit, they make things happen. Aretha Franklin represents that perhaps like very few among us ever have.
So I am incredibly honored to be here today for the unveiling of the Aretha Franklin Memorial Highway. Because Aretha Franklin was a trailblazer. She lived a lifetime of service and built a legacy that we've heard so many talk about today. She went on tour with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. at age 16, traveling across the country to fight for civil rights. She was the first African-American woman ever featured on the cover of Time magazine. She taught generations of women to demand RESPECT. She lived an extraordinary life and never forgot where she came from. Detroit was her home. She started singing at the New Bethel Baptist Church, where her father was the pastor. Spent decades of her life in this city. She helped build this city into what it is today. And she once said, I've been around the world, London, Paris, Germany, all those wonderful places, and there is no place like Detroit, Michigan. And she was right. There is no place like Detroit, Michigan. Her love for the city was reflected in her music, but also in her years of service to this community. The people of Michigan are proud to claim Aretha Franklin. Now, as people from all over the world travel to Detroit on the Aretha Franklin Memorial Highway, they will be reminded of the profound impact that she had on this city and on this state.
Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.